Welcome to another edition of Reverend Jeff's Monster Info. Tonight we're talking about Chessie, sea monster from the Chesapeake Bay area of Maryland. Chessie is a legendary sea monster said to live in the midst of the Chesapeake Bay. Over the years, there have been many alleged sightings of a sea serpent-like creature with flippers as part of its body. Most sighting reports describe it as a long snake-like creature from 25 feet to 40 feet long. It is said to swim using its body as a sine curve moving through the water. There were a rash of sightings in 1977 and more in the mid-1980s. The most recent sighting occurred on April 5th of 2014 at 1:40 a.m., described by the witness when the tide was very high. While parked on the side of the Anne Arundel Beach Road directly next to the Magathie River, a Maryland resident and his friend reportedly saw Chessie less than 5 feet from his car and described it as having no fins but being a snake-like creature 25 to 30 feet in length, with a slender, football-shaped head and black-colored. Though he could not distinguish between the having scales or leathery skin, the creature did not rise out of the water, but described it as the head and the tail end just breaching the surface of the water, moving in serpentine motion. The witness first questioned himself if it was two separate animals traveling one behind the other, but soon realized, however, that one continuous creature was in front of him. By the water disturbance flow it created on the surface of the water, he could tell it was definitely one animal. There are no known snakes in Maryland that get anywhere close to 25 feet long, though no photo was available to be obtained because the witness was too busy trying to figure out what the hell it was that he didn't think to take a picture with his cell phone. The witness was so moved, he called the Department of Natural Resources soon after the sighting. Although there are alleged photographs of Chessie, there is no genuine evidence of its existence. Speculation to explain sightings has included a mutant eel theory, large river otters, and prehistoric zeuglodons and South American anacondas escaping from 18th and 19th century sailing ships. Chessie sighting reports. According to Matt Lake in Weird, Maryland, two perch fishermen, Francis Clarman and Edward J. Ward, in 1943, spotted something in the water near Baltimore. This thing was about 75 yards away, at right angles from our boat. At first it looked like something floating on the water. It was black, and the part of it that was out of the water seemed about 12 foot long. It had a head about as big as a football and shaped somewhat like a horse's head. It turns its head several times, almost all of the way around. A photograph of an unknown sea creature taken by Trudy Guthrie in 1980 was later identified as a manatee from Florida. Manatees are unusual this far from Florida. A manatee nicknamed Chessie was rescued from the Chesapeake's chilly water in October of 1994 and returned to Florida, but has revisited the Chesapeake several times since then. It was photographed in the Patapsco River in 2010, unconfirmed, and near the shore of the Calvert County on July 12, 2011. The more recent photograph was confirmed by U.S. Geological Survey biologists. Unlike the reports of the serpentine creature, manatees do not swim undulating from side to side. In 1982, Robert and Karen Frew supposedly videotaped Chessie near Kent Island. Their video shows a brownish object moving side to side like an aquatic snake. Chessie has an environmental side as well. Coloring a book published by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service in 1986, Chessie, as an environmental icon for the Chesapeake Bay, was used by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service for its educational coloring book in 1986. In the 1980s, Chessie became a symbol for the environmental advocacy in Maryland. Illustrations of the monster in newspapers and government publications, accompanied articles about environmental issues, gave the monster a friendly appearance. Eric Chisholm wrote in Discovering Chessie, Waterfront, Regional Identity, and the Chesapeake Bay, the friendliness of the monster, too, could not help but convey the sense that the bay was a harmless victim of pollution. The last notable sighting of the beast was in 1997 off the shore of Fort Smallwood State Park, very close to shore. Over the years, reported sightings have subsided, but the curiosity remains. This has been a Reverend Jeff's Monster Info. Thanks for listening, and may the Squatch be with you.